In this video, I'm going to call out two specific things that I believe we, the music education and or the classical music community, can do to lead on important current social justice issues. Two very specific things. And I say we because I consider myself a part of the classical music community. I also consider myself a part of the music education community. Number one, I believe that we can acknowledge that fine string playing or fine string teaching is not exclusive to or synonymous with playing classical music. So I invite you to really consider this and or to challenge or invite your colleagues to consider this. I think it sets up a false equivalency, which is a form of Eurocentrism. This false equivalency, this idea that the violin needs to be studied through classical music first, or that classical music is high art. Anything that sort of excludes other cultural forms of music from music education. Anything that raises classical music up as this status of high art. I think we need to really push back against that idea. We need to acknowledge, again, that fine string playing and teaching is not exclusive to classical music. Because as long as that equivalency is set up, it's reinforcing, some form of cultural imperialism or racism or the supremacy of the Western European canon, or whatever you want to call it. That's what I think. A second thing that I think that we can do, I believe that music teachers can educate ourselves about music outside of the classical music, Yeah. So if a music teacher doesn't know about music outside of Bach and Brahms, we can learn it alongside our students. We can study it. There's a lot of ways to study it. Part of that, one of the best ways to study music that comes out of classical music is to meet musicians from different communities that know the music of their community or of their culture. So to meet them and to play music with them and to learn from them. I think these are really important things to do. So if we do these two things, and I know there's a lot of other things that people are doing that are really important. These are just two things that I think we can do that are important. Then I think we can try to reshape music education in a more multicultural way, a more equitable way as well. I think we'll all be better musicians also. We'll be better music educators. We'll be actually serving students in deeper ways. The music education, the culture of music education is an important influence on culture at large. And so I feel like we should recognize that that this matters, that we have an influence, and that if we change the way we study music, if we change the way that we teach music, that can really be powerful. And I think that what I said originally was that, as music educators, if we consider doing these things, this is like leading on an issue, right? But I think leadership is partly about admitting when we don't have answers, and it's also, leadership is also engaging in self-education, ongoing self-education. So I'm just saying that's something that I want to do. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of continuing to be educated. Music is forever. It's a lifelong study. So we learn about music our whole lives. We learn about ourselves. We learn about the world. That is my statement on this video. I appreciate any constructive feedback you'd like to leave, and I appreciate you coming by the channel. Take care.